Welcome to the Power of Imagination. I'm Robert Meade, your coach, and I'm going to be sharing with you some details from The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, chapters 4, 5, and 6. We covered chapters 1 through 3, and now we're going to continue to delve into this deep work on how you can manifest your best life by using the power of your awareness and consciousness. This volume you see on your screen, Neville Goddard Collection, is amazing because it contains most of Neville's greatest works and all of his books. I recommend that you get it, and within it is his gem from 1952, The Power of Awareness. Most of you are aware that I've been living in the Philippines now for nearly 6 months. It's been amazing. It's been part of my manifested life that I imagined several years ago, along with Bali and Playa del Carmen. This is my beach you're looking at. I live a mere 200 yards from this lovely beach, and it's absolutely been a phenomenal experience for me here in the Philippines, where I visited 5 islands now. I give a lot of credit to Dan and Qiang. Dan is from Vagabond Awake, and many of you have met me through his 5 interviews that he's done of me in my travels. Qiang is also amazing, having her own travel channel. So let's get started. You'll enjoy some of these backdrop views as I get into Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is entitled Desire. Neville says that everything depends on your attitude toward yourself. That which you will not affirm as true for yourself can never be realized by you, for that attitude alone is the necessary condition by which you realize your goal. Your attitude is your self-concept, which we discussed from chapters 1 through 3, what you believe and accept as true for yourself. Years ago, I decided to accept that even though it was not my reality yet, that I was going to be living the beach life. In my imagination, I was Beach Bobby. Though I was living in the desert in Las Vegas and COVID came along, that didn't deter me because I had already decided in my heart and I had imagined my toes in the sand, the sun on my shoulders, and the ocean at my feet. And this is exactly what I've been able to manifest for these past 4 years. As I mentioned, first in Playa del Carmen, where I did over 100 scuba dives, and my previous video showed that. Also, Bali, Indonesia is absolutely phenomenal. I was there for 2 years, and Dan interviewed me twice there. And now I'm in the Philippines, where Dan interviewed me down in Dumaguete, and when I was doing a 5-island loop, it was absolutely phenomenal. To really focus in and manifest what you desire, your attitude needs to be filled with what you want. So desire starts with knowing what you want. The ideal or desire or goal you seek and hope to attain will not manifest itself just by chance or coincidence. No, you have to imagine it true. So what would it look like? What would it feel like? And what would it be like if you already had your ideal? Neville emphasizes in this chapter 4, which I so would encourage you to read all of that book of The Power of Imagination, Power of Awareness. However, chapter 4 emphasizes that the way we do it is how? It's really through systematic cultivation. You must systematically read, study, and meditate through Neville's works and understand that it's a system of actually going into your imagination. And I've talked about this in my previous videos. The way you systematically do that and cultivate your desire is you imagine it as already yours. So whether it's for a better career or a job, whether you're seeking love, perhaps a partner or a better relationship in your life, whether it's perhaps better health and fitness. It could be any number of things that are your goal. However, to manifest it, you will need to systematically cultivate it. What that means is you need to have it deeply embedded in your subconscious. Your subconscious is connected to the universe. It's connected to God. You're really sending a message to God that you already have that life. It seems complicated, but actually it is quite simple. The trick is that you've got to put aside all of your challenges and problems and everything that says, there's no way I can have that. That needs to be set aside. You have to come to believe you can be that person and have that life. As Neville says, a concluding thought from chapter 4, if you do not believe that you are he or she, the person you want to be, then you're going to remain as you are. All of us know that saying that if you always do what you've always done, if you always believe and think the way you always have, you'll always have the same. So the only way to change that is with a new idea, a new attitude and belief. And that belief needs to be systematically developed. Chapter 5, the truth that sets you free. And again, I'm highlighting some key points here. Since your life is determined by your assumptions, what you believe to be true, what you expect to happen in your life, you're forced to recognize the fact that you are either a slave to your assumptions or their master. To become the master of your assumptions is the key to undreamed freedom and happiness. So what you need to do in this systematic cultivation is form a mental image, a picture of the state desired, of the person you want to be. Imagine it. What would it look like? Then you need to concentrate your attention upon the feeling that you already are that person. First, visualize the picture in your consciousness, then feel yourself to be that in that state of having, as experiencing it already, as though it actually formed your surrounding world. So again, I was on the beach. I felt my feet in the sand, though I wasn't there yet. I imagined the tropical coconut trees and palms behind me. I also imagined a setting of mountains behind me and ocean in front of me. In all three cases, when I've made these moves the past 4 years to the island life I've always had a beach in front of me and mountains behind me. Coincidence? No. That's what I envisioned. And that's what I brought into my subconscious through repeated affirmation and following the steps that Neville gives in bringing that into your subconscious. And there's a complete system for it that I've highlighted on many of my videos. But what's the secret? Neville says the great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention, firmly and repeatedly focused on the object to be accomplished. Now, it cannot be emphasized too much that by creating the ideal within your mental sphere, by assuming that you are already that ideal, you identify yourself with it, and thereby you are transforming yourself into its image. Now listen to this. He says you're thinking from the ideal, within it, right? From it, instead of it. So you're not just imagining how amazing it's going to be, thinking about it. It's like driving a new car. You need to be sitting behind the wheel, imagining you're behind on that lovely, fresh leather. Perhaps the smell of a new car, the stereo, looking out through the window over your hands over that steering wheel, feeling that you're within that car already because you already own it. Chapter 6 is attention. By attention, Neville emphasizes that it's concentrated observation of the one thing. You need to focus on your ideal and shut out other things, causing them to disappear. If you're focused on one thing, you're no longer focused on your problems and challenges because you're only focused on having what you want to have even though you don't yet have it. The great secret of success in this regard is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. The idea which excludes all others from the field of attention discharges in action. So it simply unfolds for you, friends. That's how it works. He goes on to say that you need to set out to master and control the movements of your attention. And again, as we mentioned, you do that through a faithful, systematic cultivation of it by filling your mind with your wish as already fulfilled. Your attention must be developed, controlled, and concentrated in order to change your concept of yourself successfully and thereby change your future. Well, friends, this has been a taste of chapters 4, 5, and 6. I want you to dive in, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.